The Gospel according to St. John, chapter 12, verses 10 to 19. Many of the Jews were believing in Jesus because of Lazarus. On the next day, when the great crowd that had come to the feast heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem, they took palm branches and went out to meet him and cried out, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel." Jesus found a donkey and sat upon it, as it is written, "Fear no more, O daughter Zion. See, your king comes, seated upon the colt of a donkey." His disciples did not understand this at first, but when Jesus had been glorified, they remembered that these things were written about him, and that they had done this for him. So the crowd was with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb and raised him from death, continued to testify. This was why the crowd went to meet him, because they heard that he had done this sign. So the Pharisees said to one another, "You see that you are gaining nothing. Look, the whole world has gone after him." Well, the section of this gospel which precedes what I just read was the raising of Lazarus from the dead, as it comes out also in this gospel that I read, the crowd, why they believed Jesus and were so happy to welcome him. It says the crowd was with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb and raised him from death. So they were testifying to this. They saw it with their own eyes. And so they realized that he was no ordinary person, no ordinary man, that he truly was God, or at least he had the powers of God. He was different, and they said, well, when they heard that he was coming to Jerusalem, which is not very far from where Lazarus, Bethany, it's not very far away, they took palm branches. Palm branches, of course, from way back, was a sign of victory and joy, celebration. And they took palm branches and they spread them out before him where he was going to proceed to Jerusalem. And he rode on a donkey, a colt, which is also a sign of peace. And riding on a horse was a sign of a person going to war. But riding on a donkey was a symbol of a person a person standing for peace and bringing peace. And that's what Jesus did. He came to bring peace to the world and to our hearts. So they were so happy to greet Jesus. They had spread their palm branches before him where he was proceeding to Jerusalem, and crying out, "Hosanna, which of course is song is like, praise God, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, and even as King of Israel. So they welcomed him as a king, welcomed him as God, I guess, or at least having the powers of God, if not actually accepting him as God yet. It doesn't come in the gospel. But then there were, of course, on the other hand, the Pharisees who opposed him and opposed his teaching of forgiveness and generosity, and, well, they could not accept that. And they used religion, of course, as a means for their own gratification, and, well, they were opposed to Jesus from the beginning. So no matter what miracles, and now that he raised Lazarus from the dead, they even wanted to kill Lazarus, because Lazarus was a walking proof that Jesus was divine. So you have the two views. You have the one event of Lazarus and being raised from the dead and Jesus entering Jerusalem, Palm Sunday. And you have the response or the reaction of two different types of people. One who accepted him gladly, and the other who was determined to reject him and to kill him. I think from this little gospel we can learn something ourselves. In our own lives, God speaks to us in many different ways, gives us signs to accept him. He shows his love to us. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it might even be sickness or the cross. But still, he's calling us to glory and to the resurrection. And so we receive him and say, Jesus, come into my heart. Rule my heart. Be the king of my heart. Well, I think then this day, Palm Sunday, will truly be a day of grace for each one of us. God bless you. Have a nice day, and till the next time, goodbye.